Hi, I'm reporter Andrew Fleming. I'm standing here today with my esteemed colleague Sandra Thomas. As we just saw in the last clip, let's carry on. The focus this week is on the Musqueam First Nations Reserve. And Sandra, I believe you went down to check out the new art gallery there. What can you tell us about it?
Well, the gallery opened up in June, and it's part of the Musqueam's, goal to raise awareness about their history and culture.
Now, I suppose if any of you were here for the Olympics, you might have noticed that the structure they had a special Aboriginal pavilion set up outside of the Queen Elizabeth Theatre, and it's quite an elaborate building. I mean, it's made to look like one of these traditional cedar straw hats, and I guess this is its new home. They moved it down from the pavilion to their new home in the lands, is that correct?
They did do that after the Olympics. When they discovered that the building had to be moved, they made a bid to get it, and they were successful in that bid. And it's taken them a little while, but now this gallery is open within that new centre.
Now, I understand, too, I mean, it's a lot of people may not go down there very often. It's a little off the beaten track for Vancouver. I mean, it's kind of tucked away. But now they have this new art gallery, and I think they want to get the word out that people are welcome to come on by. I think there's a lot of misconceptions people might have that, you can't just walk onto an Indian reserve. You can't go everywhere there, but this is a place that seems very welcoming, and they're having a lot of new attractions. What can you tell me about the one that's there right now?
It's the local exhibit they have right now is called Baskets for Barter, and it traces the history of their use of cedar over thousands of years. They also have a bit of a revolving gallery, and right now they have a Maori exhibit that's on.
So they'll be doing more and more Aboriginal art from other cultures, all the rest, I guess, is the idea. The Maori have some beautiful things as well. I got to say, on a personal note, I've always been struck. I'm from the east coast of Canada myself, and there's not really the tradition of First Nation art. I mean, you rarely have. It's not as widespread as is here in BC, and I've always been impressed by the fact because they had all these cedar trees that gave so much, and had the salmon. They had more time to do arts, which always makes me kind of proud to be a BCer. But anyway, enough about that. Let's move on to the hot topic of the week. Of course, is the expansion of the casino. What can you tell us about it?
Okay, well, it's the physical body, the footprint of the Edgewater Casino will expand as part of this new new project announced by Paragon Gaming this week, which is an urban resort which will be developed, if approved, by the City of Vancouver and the False Creek waterfront where the Edgewater Casino sits now.
Okay, and if any of you WOW TV viewers like to gamble, they're saying right now that they're not going to be expanding the actual number of gambling facilities. It's just they're going to be adding a new hotel, a new conference center, and all the rest. What's the kind of reaction this is garnering from the public? What have you heard?
Well, there was a group that fought tooth and nail in 2011 when Paragon initially requested a proposal to expand gambling. They wanted to create a destination casino resort that would have 1,500 slot machines. And this group just said this is not going to happen. It was a grassroots group. And that in turn, was turned down by City Council. But the property was rezoned at the time to allow for such a project as this urban resort.
So basically, a huge community. Tell me if I have it described. There's a huge opposition a couple of years ago. They managed to have it turned down, but yet, because it was rezoned, it sort of left a door open for this new proposal to come along, which may or may not be approved. Is that correct? Exactly.
The development permit was supposed to be applied for this week, and it seems to fit all of the zoning and the requirements. So I have a feeling there's a good chance it will be. They will get permission to do this. It includes 2 hotels, a conference center, restaurants and retail space, theaters, and then connecting pedestrian areas to downtown and Yaletown.
Okay, well, sounds like big changes could be afoot on the waterfront. Speaking of changes on the waterfront, I understand there's more tennis options in Kitsilano. What? Can you tell me about that, Sandra?
Well, this Sunday they're having the official opening, but they're open now. 10 new tennis courts at Kits Beach. 5 of them are international tournament approved, and the other 5 are for more casual, but anybody can play on them. And it's this is a project that's been between the Park Board, the Kitsilano War Memorial Community Center, and a bunch of sponsoring partners. So everybody's really excited about that this weekend. If only the rain would stop.
And these are free to the public too. You don't need to have the one card or any kind of special membership.
These are free, and I'm not sure. In some cases, you can reserve courts online, but I'm not sure if this is the case in this particular instance.
And speaking of the Park Board, are there any news on the court cases? That must have wrapped up by now. Is there a verdict? Sorry if I'm putting you on the spot. I don't know.
There is no verdict yet. We would expect at the very latest for the end of next week. It's a complicated issue. The judge presiding over it has said that he would need some time to consider the information from both the Park Board, the city, and the 6 community centers who have taken them to court. And there should be a verdict on the use of the one card by the end of next week.
Again, we've been covering this for a while, so just a little background. There's 6 community centers that are taking the Vancouver Park Board to court over the implementation of this one card. Some of you may have it. It's the idea is a universal access card. You could use it in any center. Some centers are upset because it affects their ability to raise membership money, and they kind of feel it's being shoved down their throat. A lot of people are for it. A lot of people are against it, and they're taking it to the Supreme Court. Right now, the case right now, though, is right just about the marketing of the card, but there's another phase that's happening in November. Is that right?
That's right. In November, there'll actually be a bigger part of the court case, which is these particular 6 community center associations have accused a park board of breaches of the former and current or interim joint operating agreement. And they say that on numerous cases, the park board has whatever.
Well, that about sums it up. Well, don't let the ongoing dispute keep you from going to the gym. Keeping healthy is important. That's all I have for now. I'm Andrew Fleming with Sandra Thomas. Thanks for tuning in.
感谢收看今天的大温故事，我们下期再见。